In the world of Battle Through the Heavens, Xiao Yan's life is surrounded by countless legends, battles, and romances. But when we look carefully at the original novel, one detail often surprises readers. Xiao Yan has not one, but two wives. One is the dazzling, mysterious childhood sweetheart, Xun'er. The other is the fiery, proud queen of the snake people, Cai Lin, better known as Medusa. Logically, you would think that the Xiao family, who raised Xun'er from childhood, would treat her as their favorite daughter-in-law. After all, she grew up in Wutan City, sharing meals and laughter with the Xiao family members. Xiao Yan, Xiao Ding, and Xiao Li all watched her grow up under their roof. From an outsider's perspective, the bond between Xun'er and the Xiao family should have been unbreakable, deeper than blood itself. Yet the truth is the complete opposite. In the original story, whether it was Xiao Yan or the elder brothers Xiao Ding and Xiao Li, the one they admired, trusted, and even relied on the most was not Xun'er, but Cai Lin. Why? Why would the Xiao family, who once treated Xun'er like a precious pearl, ultimately side with Cai Lin in their hearts? The answer lies in three layers of reality. The first reason can be summed up as who truly invests in you. When Xun'er was still living in the Xiao clan, she always carried the identity of an outsider. She was not merely the adopted daughter of the Xiao family. Xiao Yan, sharp as he was, had long seen through her hidden identity. He knew that this little girl carried the aura of a high and mighty clan, and when she casually tossed out a purple gold card worth 100,000 gold coins to resolve a petty family dispute, Xiao Yan was so terrified he didn't sleep the whole night. He held a secret meeting with his son, knowing that behind this gentle little girl stood an ancient behemoth, the Gu clan. In his heart, Xun'er was like a child holding a piece of jade too heavy for her small hands. The Xiao family treated her with both love and fear. Love because she was a kind and gentle child who never brought harm to the family. Fear because her background was like an invisible wall. The Xiao family knew very well that Xun'er could leave at any time. Their bond with her was never one of equals, but one of distance. Cai Lin, however, was different. She was not born in the Xiao family, but she married into it with her entire dowry. The snake people behind her did not stand as untouchable overlords, but as partners, willing to integrate into the Xiao family's world. With Cai Lin's help, the Yan alliance grew from nothing into one of the great powers of the Northwest. In just 3 years, she transformed what was once a fledgling organization into a towering force, solid enough to rival any great sect. Xiao Ding and Xiao Li witnessed this transformation with their own eyes. They saw Cai Lin not just as a wife, but as a sister-in-law who bled and sweat alongside them. She sat at the same table, reviewed the same account books, shared strategies, and even risked her life for their cause. Compared to Xun'er, who always had the looming shadow of the Gu clan behind her, Cai Lin invested everything directly into the Xiao family itself. The second reason lies in showing one's strength in moments of crisis. Let's recall that moment in the novel when Xiao Yan was hunted down by the Yunlin sect. Where was Xun'er? She was at Canaan Academy, sipping tea, unable to intervene. Not because she didn't care, but because her position, her clan, and her status shackled her hands. Now compare that with Cai Lin. Even when pregnant, she didn't hesitate to draw her sword. She challenged a guardian of the Soul Hall by herself, enduring wounds no ordinary woman could bear. And what about when the Soul Clan attacked the Xiao family? When ancient Dou Shengs, the supposed mighty protectors of the Gu clan, turned a blind eye and feigned death, Cai Lin, pregnant with Xiao Yan's child, stormed into the Soul Hall dungeon alone. She fought through mountains of corpses and seas of blood, dragging Xiao Yan, who had been imprisoned and forced to eat rotten, steamed buns for 3 long months, back out into the light. Imagine being Xiao Yan in that moment. Covered in blood, his daughter-in-law stood in front of him, shielding him from the enemy. She was no noble princess, sipping tea in safety. She was flesh, blood, and fire, his family's protector. How could Xiao Yan not be moved? How could he not recognize Cai Lin as the true pillar of the Xiao family? The third reason is perhaps the most decisive of all: children, family, and responsibility. After Xiao Yan embarked on his journeys across Zhongzhou, he often disappeared for years at a time. Who stayed behind to care for the family? Who balanced the alliance meetings by day, nursed little Xiao Xiao at noon, and fended off assassins at night? It was Cai Lin. Xiao Ding once witnessed a scene he never forgot. Cai Lin, her tail wrapped around the chair, was comforting the crying Xiao Xiao with one hand, while her other hand flipped through important alliance documents. This was the reality of her life. A queen who lowered her crown for her family, who merged the duties of wife, mother, and leader into one. And Xun'er? She spent only 3 days with Xiao Yan before returning to the Gu clan, where her father, Gu Yuan, watched Xiao Yan like a hawk, as though he were some thief who had stolen the clan's treasure. It was not malice, it was simply the Gu clan's way. To them, Xiao Yan was not just Xun'er's husband, but a variable to be controlled. The relationship between Xun'er and Xiao Yan's family, therefore, always carried a sense of distance, a sense of formality. The Xiao family elders were not fools. They knew who their true family was, the one who raised their children, fought their battles, and shared their burdens. At the deepest level, however, the divide comes down to something more fundamental, the bloodline code. Let's not forget Xiao Xuan, the great ancestor of the Xiao clan, who once fought the Soul clan. When he was ambushed, Gu Yuan feigned death to protect his clan. History left its mark, and now when the Xiao family faced its darkest hours once again, the Gu clan chose to stand aside. Meanwhile, Cai Lin and the entire Serpent People clan threw themselves into the flames for the Xiao family, acting as shields, as warriors, as the final line of defense. To put it bluntly, Xun'er represented the ancient clan's investment, which could be withdrawn at any moment. Cai Lin, on the other hand, was an original shareholder who staked everything, her clan, her bloodline, her future, on the Xiao family. Who then could the Xiao family truly call their own? Even in the matter of marriage, the difference was clear. Xiao Yan and Cai Lin's wedding was pushed forward by the Xiao family elders themselves. They could see clearly and without doubt Cai Lin's years of dedication. She had earned her place not through birthright or background, but through loyalty, blood, and love. And so the truth is simple. If you want to win over your in-laws, sweet words will never match true warmth. Battling against the Soul clan at a distance cannot compare to raising children in the household. Even the most noble daughter of an ancient clan cannot compare to the wife who brews you hangover soup at midnight. That is why, in the original novel, the Xiao family, from the father down to the brothers, chose Cai Lin. She was not just Xiao Yan's wife, she was their family. And that brings us to the end of today's story. In the world of battle through the heavens, emotions and bonds are often more important than bloodlines and power. Cai Lin may not have grown up with the Xiao family like Xun'er, but through sacrifice, loyalty, and love, she became the true pillar of the Xiao household. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support means everything and helps us bring you more deep dives into the world of Donghua and Jianxia. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay strong, stay inspired, and keep breaking through the heavens.